Nacional, Doroteo, Guamuch, Flores in Guatemala City, Guatemala. I'm Joe Malfa here with you for today's action, and it's an important one to kick things off today in this group between Guadeloupe and Jamaica. It is a clear day for now, 77 degrees, some wind as well, but as is the case when we are here in Guatemala City, rain could come at any moment. We saw that earlier in the tournament. Passing shower here. They will keep an eye on the weather. Here's a look at the group standings to illustrate my point from a moment ago at the importance of this game. Jamaica already has 3 points in the back pocket. Guadeloupe has not yet registered a point after an opening match loss against Costa Rica. Now, Guadeloupe cannot be eliminated today no matter what happens, but Jamaica can clinch their spot already in the round of 16. It can happen one of two ways, either with a victory in this game or with a draw plus a Cuba loss. They would already move on to the round of 16 here in this tournament, where the top 3 teams in each group will move on to the round of 16, where we have 4 teams already waiting: Nicaragua, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda, after coming through an earlier round of qualifying. Now, Guadeloupe was last in this tournament in 2019. They qualified directly into the round of 16 that time around after winning their qualifying group. This is their first time in the group phase of the Under-17 tournament, And Jamaica, on the other hand, veterans of this tournament, 15 appearances as a nation in the Concacaf Men's Under-17 Championship. And their best finish depends on which lens you prefer to view things through. In 1999, they were one of the group winners when it was an 8-team tournament, 2 groups of 4, no knockout, just the winners of each group qualifying for the Under-17 World Cup. So they have that feather in their cap. And then in 2011, they hosted the tournament and lost in the semifinal to the United States. So that is the furthest they advanced when there has been a knockout phase, hoping to recapture some of that magic from about a decade ago after just barely squeaking out of their group in 2019 and losing to El Salvador in the round of 16. They are coming off a big win, 4-2 over Cuba in the opener, and it was more dominant than the score might have indicated. Cuba scored 2 goals very late. It was 4-0 Jamaica before Cuba was able to find the net. Jamaica eased off the throttle just a little bit as that game grew old. And Guadeloupe, on the other hand, 2-1 the defeat against Costa Rica. The Ticos scored 2 early in the first 15 minutes against Guadeloupe, who battled back to score 1 in the 53rd minute of that match, make things interesting down the stretch. They actually hung with Costa Rica throughout the game. They were outshot only 9-8. We'll see what Guadeloupe brings to the table today against Jamaica. Both of these teams like to get out and run, so it could be a track meet coming up here between Guadeloupe and Jamaica. Players are ready to take the field, and we will have kick in just a few moments.
Démosle la bienvenida a los equipos nacionales de Guadalupe y Jamaica para el partido de esta tarde del campeonato sub-17 de Concacaf 2023. Damas y caballeros, por favor ponerse de pie. A continuación, escucharemos el himno nacional de Guadalupe.
A continuación, escucharemos el himno nacional de Jamaica.
Damas y caballeros, la alineación para la selección de Guadalupe es el siguiente. Con el número 16.
Teams are all ready to go, so it's time to meet the starting 11s and our officiating group for the day. This Guadeloupe side, everybody who is in the starting 11 today appeared in the opener in some capacity. Only one change was made to Guadeloupe's starting 11 from game 1 to game 2. And when we get to Jamaica, you'll see a similar theme going with the group that kicked things off. Jamaica is actually starting the exact same 11 as we saw on match day 1 here for Guadeloupe. Their lone goal in the opener was scored by Yanis Bienville. He started and went 90 and scored that lone goal in the 53rd minute. Up front, you've got Lorik Gustave, Danny Scordanel, and William Jacques, who led the way in terms of the shooting output. Gustave had 1 himself, Jacques had 3, and Cordanel had 3, including hitting the post in what could have been a pivotal moment of the game had he found the goal and the target. Sergio Rosenhout from Suriname is the lead official on the game. Jaden Rouse, Marco Bisguerra are your assistant referees, with Quincy Williams as the 4th official. No VAR here in this tournament. Just something to keep in the back of your mind as we move along. Captain's meeting for the coin toss. It's William Jacques for Guadeloupe. And on the other side, I hear Dixon for Jamaica. Jamaica has a couple of 15-year-olds in their starting 11. As you look up and down all the rosters in this tournament, it's obviously mostly 16 and 17-year-olds, but a couple 15 here or there. And later today, if you stick around for the Costa Rica-Cuba match, we have a 14-year-old on Costa Rica. But this Jamaican team is unchanged from game number 1, and they were led by Oren Watson, who scored 2 in the opener against Cuba. Remember, they got out to a 4-0 lead before Cuba pulled 2 back late. See if they can find that same early success and dominance here today against Guadeloupe. Opportunity today for Jamaica to punch a ticket through to the round of 16. They're in terrific shape to do so regardless of today's outcome because of their win in the opener. But you'd rather get that done and dusted as quickly as you can. On the other side, Guadeloupe cannot be eliminated today no matter the outcome. But it would be very helpful to get a point or 3 in the back pocket as Costa Rica takes on Cuba after this one. We are underway on match day 2 here in Group G. Guadeloupe from right to left in the red, Jamaica from left to right in the yellow and green. Happy to have you with us today. I'm Joe Malfa. Guadeloupe, a tough loss in the first one, 2-1 against Costa Rica. Battled tightly against the Ticos. We're down just a goal for the remaining 40 minutes after they scored in the 53rd to make it a 1-goal margin. Jamaica, on the other hand, coasted against Cuba. Played quickly through for William Jacques. Jacques out wide. Early opportunity going forward here for Guadeloupe. It's Denis Cordanel. And now Guadeloupe will slow it down and swing it around the back. I mentioned as the teams were making their way out onto the field, we could see quite the track meet after what we saw on match day 1. Both of these teams like to just get out there and go. A lot of direct play from both of them. And here's another ball over the top in the area of Jacques, who heads it along. Here's Woman Pekatu. Bides his time. Pekatu sends the cross in. Nobody on the end of it. This game is 80 seconds old, and we've seen already 3-4 long balls over the top between these two teams combined. Expect that early, expect it often. Dangerous ball there on the back end from Guadeloupe. That's William Jacques. Ball caught in no man's land. Good pressure from the left back position by Nishan Bolt. Nishan Bolt, currently unattached. No club to speak of, 16 years of age. Started the opener against Cuba, played 81 minutes before he was subbed off. Bolt again looking forward in the neighborhood of Oran Watson. Deflected on the clearance attempt. Willem Perron a little bit lackadaisical getting out to that pass back. '19, Guadeloupe's first appearance in the Concacaf Men's Under-17 Championship. And given their ranking at the time, they were among the teams who had an earlier round of qualifying. They won qualifying Group C, so they were deposited directly into the round of 16, able to bypass the group phase of the tournament. So this is their first ever appearance as a nation in the group stage of this tournament. Moving forward, it's Barrett. Barrett tried to thread the needle for Malachi Molina, but it's intercepted. I mentioned Guadeloupe having that direct entry into the round of 16 back in 2019, because that will no longer be something we see in youth tournaments here in CONCACAF. Easy shot to be handled by Taewon Lynch. The news came out today that in an effort to get more teams more competitive games, there will be no more earlier rounds of qualifying and direct deposits into the round of 16. Everybody will enter a group at U17 and U20 tournaments going forward. Whoever is able to go on and win this group, Group G, will play Puerto Rico in a round of 16. So still for the time being, a big advantage for either Richard Guyon's Guadeloupe side or Maron Gordon's Jamaican side to go ahead and win this group. On paper, you get a matchup against a much lower ranked team, but rankings are very fickle at this age group. Chipped over the top to Malachi Molina, played in front. Good ball from Molina, who'll have a second chance at it. Tucks it inside, deflected, and out for a corner. Kilian Morovan got in the way of that shot from Jamani Bell. Maron Gordon's side will have its first corner of the match. See if they continue to use Molina down that right wing. It's a couple of opportunities now generated by his play down that right flank. Corner curled toward the penalty spot. And a foul called against Jamaica in the lead-in. Jamaica ranked 8th at the U17 level, and Guadeloupe 14th, but again, take that with a massive pinch of salt. Those rankings were last updated in 2019 when we last had this tournament. Players on the field for both teams today were 11, 12, and 13 years old. The last time those rankings were updated. Great ball played through here and well read by the keeper. Has to scramble back, deflected his way. And Guadeloupe will avoid the danger for a moment. Starting to see those channels open up for those Jamaican through balls. Back for Willem Perron. Morovan out wide. Now Pekatu. Adrian Reed, and his pass deflected. Now up toward Dunstan Cohen. Jamani Bell, who had that chance a moment ago for Jamaica, that was blocked out for a corner kick, was one of the other goal scorers for the Jamaican side in the opener against Cuba. Started and played 78 minutes, scored the opening goal in that one. And Jamaica will have a free kick here, a good spot to swing it across. Jamaica outshot Cuba 15-9 in the opener. They scored 22 minutes in, and then they scored 3 goals in the first half an hour in the second half. It was 4-0 at the 70-minute mark, and then Cuba scored twice in the final 10 minutes. Taken quickly on the ground, off the training ground here, and a swing and a miss at the shot. Ronaldo Barrett then commits the foul to double down on the error. Not a bad effort from Jamaica and trying to catch that Guadeloupe back line napping. But then Barrett powers through for the foul. Looking up and down the different age groups for these nations, Guadeloupe, their U20 status, well, they're ranked 28th. They did not qualify for last summer's men's under-20 championship. And at the senior level, Guadeloupe ranked 18th in Concacaf, not eligible for the FIFA World Rankings or for any World Cup play, only eligible for Concacaf play. They're in League B in Concacaf Nations League after earning promotion from League C in the inaugural edition back in 2019-2020. They dominated their group at the senior level, a perfect 4-0-0 against Turks and Caicos and Sint Maarten. Outscored those two opponents 20-2. And now they're faring well in League B after jumping up from League C. Currently tied for first with Cuba in League B Group A. Those two teams will meet in the March window of Nations League, so a really good opportunity for Guadeloupe to actually gain promotion to League A at the senior level. Corner whipped in, loose in front, and finally cleared. Headed right back into the mixer. Flag stays down for the time being. Malachi Molina earns another corner for Jamaica. Guadeloupe struggled in their Gold Cup foray back in 2021. They were in a group with Costa Rica, Jamaica, and Suriname, finished in last at the senior level. So you take the good of Nations League play with the bad of the Gold Cup showing, but an arrow pointing upward for Guadeloupe. Sergio Rosenhout, the Surinamese referee, comes in for a quick chat. Jaden Rouse of St. Kitts and Nevis, the assistant referee, held the corner for a moment, and now it's flying to the backside of the 6. Alani Bell keeps it alive. Bell 1v2. And now Guadeloupe can counter. Mangatal steps in the way, looking for Barrett. Ronaldo Barrett will keep it in. Guarded tightly by Morovan. William Jacques on the turn. Gets it back on the ricochet. And Jamaica with time and space once again. 10 minutes through here. Still scoreless. And another ball over the top. That's been the theme of the first 10 minutes here in Guatemala City from Estadio Nacional Doroteo, Guamuch, Flores. Joe Malfa with you for today's action on match day 2 in Group G. This match will be followed by Costa Rica taking on Cuba approximately 1 hour after the conclusion of this game. As it stands, Jamaica and Costa Rica are atop the Group G standings with 3 points each. Jamaica technically in first on a superior goal differential. They're +2, Costa Rica +1. Regardless of the outcome here, Guadeloupe cannot be eliminated. You figure a worst-case scenario for Guadeloupe, of course, would be a loss in this, and then Cuba upsetting Costa Rica. That means they'd still be within 3 points. Oh, look out here. It's misjudged. Taewon Lynch seemed to have an easy catch on a lofted ball forward, and now it's a corner for Guadeloupe. Can they make Jamaica pay for the error? Argument could be made that Adrian Reed had more time with that ball instead of conceding easily that corner kick. When you see your keeper out of position after fumbling the ball, you just want to get it out of harm's way any way you can. Giannis Bienville takes a corner, goes short. And out for a goal kick. Opportunity gone by the wayside for Guadeloupe. Jamaica's status report as you look up at the other levels. At the U20 level, ranked 11th, they lost to Dominican Republic in the quarterfinal of last summer's Under-20 championship. The senior level, it's been brighter recently for Jamaica, especially as they've had the influx of dual national players from England. That has certainly helped add to the talent pool. Ranked number 6 in Concacaf. They finished 6th in the octagonal round of qualifying last spring. Given away, good step by Adrian Reed. Jamaica was originally in League B of the inaugural Nations League at the senior level. 5 wins and a draw later, they got promoted to League A. And now they're 1 point ahead of Mexico in League A, Group A, though Mexico does have a game in hand. Senior team for Jamaica made it to the quarterfinal on the last edition of the Gold Cup, where they lost to the United States. And back to that U20 tournament last summer for a moment. They lost 1-0 to the Dominican Republic in the quarterfinal, but Jamaica on that day, far and away the better team. It seemed like the U20 Jamaicans were poised for a breakthrough the way the tournament was laid out for them, with some upsets happening elsewhere. If they could take care of business against Dominican Republic, and again, they probably should have on that day as the better team, they might have had a chance to not only qualify for the U20 World Cup, which they would have done with a victory, but they had a chance to make it through for Olympic qualification. That's what Dominican Republic ended up doing after they beat Jamaica in the quarterfinal. Similar stakes here in this tournament to keep in the back of your mind as we go forward. The winners of the quarterfinal, the 4 semifinalists, will all qualify for the Under-17 World Cup in Peru later this year. Here's Samuel Solitude. Guadeloupe has gotten in some trouble when they've tried the cross-field passing. Left a number of those short. Down the wing with speed. This Cordonal has no help, no other red jerseys in the box. Sends it across, hopefully, but there's nobody there. At the quarter of an hour mark, Jamaica leads possession 55-45. Guadeloupe still out shooting 1-0. Played across here. Dangerous attack for Jamaica despite being outshot 1-0. They've had the more dangerous looking attacks, namely the shot that was blocked when Jamani Bell was open just outside the 6. Bell thought he drew a foul right then and there. It'll just be a goal kick for Guadeloupe. Elsewhere, scoreless between Suriname and Haiti. That action taking place in Group H. Group H so far is paced by Honduras and El Salvador, who will meet later on. They both won on match day 1. El Salvador took down Haiti, and Honduras took down Suriname. So you figure in Group H later tonight, if either Honduras or El Salvador can come away with all 3 points, they would, in all likelihood, go on to win Group H. And the winner of that group plays Bermuda in the round of 16. And back to the business at hand here in Group G, where Jamaica is currently in first place. The win in this match or a draw plus a Cuba loss later tonight would already punch Jamaica's ticket through. Looking long in the neighborhood of Cardenal. Cardenal had 3 shots for Guadeloupe in the first game. That was tied for the team lead, and he hit the post at a pivotal moment in the match. Here's Evan Lauriette. Giannis Bienville scored the lone goal for Guadeloupe, plays it inside for Ilan Malosa. Good find. Oh, Lauriette Gustave, but the first touch failed him. Able to regather. Now out wide for William Jacques. The captain with it. And that foul goes against Guadeloupe, just as it seemed to be building for them in the attacking third. You have already seen 4 teams punch their tickets through to the round of 16, aside from the 4 that already are in the round of 16 from the earlier rounds of qualifying. I should specify in saying already 4 teams from the current group phase have moved on. Mexico and Panama won each of their first 2 matches in Group E. They are through, and they will play on the 3rd match day to determine the group winner. And a similar story in Group F. The United States and Canada each won their first 2 matches and will play on the final match day in Group F for group supremacy. So U.S., Canada, Panama, and Mexico already through. Jamaica could join them today. And either Honduras or Salvador or El Salvador later tonight will as well. See more possession from Guadeloupe than we did in the first game. That could just be the nature of the opponent. In that first game against Costa Rica, it finished 50-50, but the game changed after Costa Rica went up 2-0, where they were more passive. Good read again coming off the line securely, Willem Perron. Already seen that a few times where he has read it well and stopped the attack before it even materialized. Now Jamani Bell lays a pass across, but it's just wide of Dunstan Cohen. Still Cohen. Jacques over the top, sending Cardenal on the run. And it is out for a Guadeloupe throw. This tournament dates all the way back to the early 80s when it started as an under-16 tournament. Switch was made for the 1991 edition to under-17. Number of teams has fluctuated throughout the years from 12 down to 8, back up to 12 again. And then in 2019, officially ticked up to 20, which is where we are at once more. Only 3 nations have ever won since it shifted to a U17 tournament in 1991, as it's Dunstan Cohen down for a moment. Boot has come off, playing with that right foot as the trainers tend to him. Mexico, the United States, and Costa Rica the only three nations to have won this tournament since it became a U17 tournament. Cuba did take one title home back in 1988. Last year, that it was a U16 edition. 8 titles for Mexico, who have started off strong in this tournament again. 2 titles for the United States, 1 for Costa Rica. A host of other nations have made it through to the finals and lost. Trinidad and Tobago, Canada, Panama, and Honduras. So we have seen over the years some other teams creep into the contention. But each time they were batted aside by either Mexico or the United States. Around the turn of the millennium, it was an 8-team tournament where the teams were split into 2 groups of 4. There was no knockout stage back then, just the winners of each group qualifying for the Under-17 World Cup. Jamaica belonged in that group for 1 year, 1999. They were in a group with the U.S., Costa Rica, and Honduras. Won that group, made it through to the Under-17 World Cup. Their best finish in a tournament that featured a knockout stage was back in 2011 when they hosted, and they lost in the semifinal to the United States before beating Panama in the 3rd place match. And back to the action with Cohen sprinting already back out onto the field. Ronaldo Barrett plays it through. Jamani Bell has been one of the target men alongside Oren Watson. Bell wins it after the misplay by Kilian Morovan. New Caledonia, New Zealand, and Peru, the 3 teams already qualified for the upcoming U17 World Cup. It'll take place between November 10th and December 2nd. For better or worse, we've seen a lot of that here through nearly 25 minutes. So we expected a lot of play over the top. Some have turned into attacking opportunities for both Guadeloupe and Jamaica, as this one just might. Turns out to be a bit too long into the arms of Willem Perron. And we've seen a lot of that, where the balls have been too long. Easy gathers for the goalkeepers. And we resume play once more. Whichever one of these teams can rein that long ball in first might find themselves on the score sheet first. For all the action we've had end-to-end with the long balls, still just 1 shot officially in this one. Came in the opening minutes. An easy one for Jamaica's Taewon Lynch to corral. No official shot yet recorded for Jamaica, but they do have the 2 most dangerous opportunities of the day. A good look from Jamani Bell just outside the 6-yard box, but it was blocked immediately by Giannis Bienville. And then a few moments later, they had a 3v2 with a beautiful pass to the back post. But a vital intervention was made by Evan Lauriette. Now something on for Guadeloupe, played towards Jacques, taken down by Cardinal. Unable to flip that right hip and make good contact. And he is hobbling a bit after the play. Slow in his gait as he turned to run up the field, but looks to be okay now. Malachi Molina in for Ronaldo Barrett. Jamani Bell. Bell sends his defender flying, looks toward goal. Not sure if that was either a shot or a hopeful long ball to Dunstan Cohen down the right side. Ended up splitting the difference out for an easy goal kick. Evan Laureate. Now Kilian Morovan. Samuel Silatude did well to hold this play up and draw the foul. Silatude subbed into the opener against Costa Rica in the 56th minute. He's the lone difference in the starting 11 from game 1 to game 2 for Guadeloupe. Same starting 11 out there for Jamaica. At this point of the first match, they had already scored. That opening goal came in the 22nd minute, courtesy of Jamani Bell, who has been the most lively of the Jamaican players in this game. If there's anybody who might be the most likely to open the scoring again, you'd have to say it is the number 10 in yellow. Here is Bell pressuring his opposing number 10, Loric Gustave. Jamani Bell, also one of the youngest out there on the field for Jamaica. One of the two 15-year-olds in their starting 11. Plays with Phoenix All-Stars Club in Jamaica. Something could be on here. Bell tried to turn, undercut, and cleared. All but two of the Jamaican starters play domestically in Jamaica with their respective clubs. Or they're unattached and still in Jamaica, waiting to cling on to the next club. That is the case for Malik Robinson and Nishan Bolt. The two odd players out are Jordan Mangatal and Malachi Molina. Mangatal plays for South Florida Academy in the United States, and Malachi Molina with the FC Dallas Academy in the United States. One of the top MLS academies in the U.S. Here's Jacques, some space for William Jacques. The captain carries it in, centers it to Cardinal. Maybe would have been better suited with a shot. Cardinal was working on a couple of defenders. I don't know if Jacques ever picked up his head to see the shooting lane he actually had. More of a creative player in the midfield, sitting beneath the strikers for Guadeloupe. Molina is forced backwards with it. Turnover from Guadeloupe. Good hustle from Orion Watson on the high press. Guadeloupe maintains its defensive integrity after the turnover. While Jamaica looked to go quick, they were forced back with it. And they lose it. Not much going right offensively for Jamaica. They have gained the ball in some open spaces between the middle third and the attacking third, but have just been unable to find that entry ball, find that patch of grass in behind the Guadeloupe defense. Half an hour gone already here in Guatemala City. Joe Malfa with you for today's action, match day 2 in Group G of the 2023 Concacaf Men's Under-17 Championship. No goals to speak of on the day, not only here, but over in Group H as well. Suriname and Haiti scoreless in the 31st minute. Forlock releases from the back line up the right wing. Tried to play it off the defender for a corner, but it's out for a goal kick. Malachi Molina. Jamaica's best chances have come when he's worked down the right wing, played into Watson. Poor clearance effort from Guadeloupe. Jamani Bell with space, leaves it. And Ronaldo Barrett unable to pull the trigger with the left foot before it's cleared away. First promising moments we've seen from Jamaica in the last 5 to 10 minutes. And once again, it came from Malachi Molina down the right flank. When he has found space, they have found opportunities. Jacques gives it away. Jamani Bell. Bell looking long for Oren Watson. 2 goals for the first game for Watson. Looking to add to his tally here. It's blocked. He sticks with it. Player playing on the ground. Watson pushes his way through. Saw the official, Sergio Rosenhout, thinking about blowing the whistle for a dangerous play from a seated position. Could have given Jamaica an indirect free kick from inside the area. Could these last couple of moments for Jamaica spark something? They've now seen a couple of good chances go by the wayside. Malachi Molina had space down the right flank. Oren Watson got in behind on the ball from Jamani Bell, but nothing to show for it as the trainers venture back out onto the field. It is Watson down. Here was that last bit of play. Trying to find his way through to the ball. Ultimately got there. Chance for these teams to just recompose, figure out a plan of attack for the final 10 minutes of half number 1. Evan Laureate back and forth with his center back partner, Kilian Maravan. Those two have made a couple of big plays to keep this scoreless and to keep Jamaica still off the shot sheet. Have not yet recorded a shot in the match, despite some of the dangerous areas they found themselves in the attacking third. A testament to the Guadeloupe defense. Molina lofts it forward, and there once again is Evan Laureate. Gustave into Watson. Bounds off his chest. And the spin keeps it in. And it stops in play. Still in somehow on the line. And finally out for a Jamaican throw. Players stopped, ready for the throw and restart. And the ball had other ideas. Headed centrally by Guadeloupe. Can't do that. Bell almost makes them pay, but it's blocked again. There has not yet been any work to do for Willem Perron, the goalkeeper of Guadeloupe, aside from coming off his back line to read a couple of long balls, because every shot Jamaica has been taking seemingly has been blocked. That last one seemed earmarked for the far post. Cardinals sin in defending for Guadeloupe. The clearance through the middle. Almost made to pay for it. But with 8 minutes to play here in half number one, still scoreless. And Jamaica still shotless. Guadeloupe only has one shot. Ball possession is an even 50-50. These two teams absolutely deadlocked in every facet. Oren Watson. And a foul goes against Jamaica. Yellow card as well. Initially seemed harmless in the foul from Nashawn Bolt. We'll have another look at this. He got the hand up in the face, but a harsh yellow from this point of view. And now Ronaldo Barrett called for the foul.
Damas y caballeros, se informa que la tarjeta amarilla fue mostrada al jugador con el número 11, Nason Bond, al minuto 38.
Nice move up the left wing by Mangatal. Leaves it for Dunstan Cohen. Looking long for Watson. Almost ends up with a shot cross that goes in. Just curls wide of the far post. And then Jamani Bell, in his effort to center for Oren Watson, gives it up easily to Perron. Misjudged by Perron. Fortunately, it was curling away from the goal. Left-footed outswinger. If that was a right-footed in-swinger, he might have been in some peril. Barrett from long range. Wow! How about that to wake this game up on Jamaica's first shot of the day? Ronaldo Barrett puts them up 1-0 from about 35 yards out. Fights his way through two red jerseys and then just a heat-seeking missile. Nothing Willem Perron could have done about that. Body over it, laces through it, slicing ever so slightly toward the post. Barrett started and went 90 in the opener. A fixture in the midfield here for Jamaica. Plays with Cavalier SC domestically in Jamaica. And that changes the entire complexion of the potential team talks at half between Jamaica and Guadeloupe. Scrap everything you were going to say if you're Richard Guyon, head coach of Guadeloupe. They had seen some nice spells of possession. They had been really tough defensively. One lapse in the midfield. One thunderbolt of a strike from Ronaldo Barrett. And 40 minutes of good undone in the span of 4 seconds. On the flip side, if you're Jamaica, you just played what was arguably your worst half of the 3 you've played in this tournament. After dominant showings in both halves against Cuba, a game they controlled through and through. Watson almost gets there. Small sample size, but your worst of the 3 halves, and you still emerge from it with a goal and potentially a 1-0 lead at the break. Watson nods it down for Bell. Gustav lost it for Guadeloupe. Malachi Molina to the goal scorer, Barrett. Flag stays down, out ahead to Bell, has options in the box. Bell centers. Cohen gives chase as Pekka 2 goes for the crossfield pass and gives it away. That ball hopped up at the last second over the leg of Barrett. But one right back by Jamaica. They have controlled the midfield over the top toward Watson. Watson for Bell. Can Jamaica steal one more here in the dying embers of the first half? Ronaldo Barrett in the 41st. Bell. So tricky with the ball at his feet. Mangatal tries his luck, and it's parried aside by Perron. Saw what Barrett just did, wanted to get it on the front himself. Looked like that one was always going wide, as we see 3 minutes tacked on the end of this first half. Well, Willem Perron not taking any chances. Well struck by Mangatal, dipping, knuckling at the very end. You can see there Perron looked back to see where he was in relation to his post. In that brief moment, probably wishing he had just let it go. Now Jamaica with a chance to tack on the lead from the corner. Ronaldo Barrett. That magical left foot just made it 1-0. The corner lacked. Jamani Bell keeps it alive. Bell seemed to let that ball go, thinking there was going to be a whistle for a foul. And now it's Gustav to take it the other way for Guadeloupe. Over the top, headed on by Jacques. Cordenal able to look all the way into the arms of Taewon Lynch, who has not had much to do at this end of the field for Jamaica. Up until that goal in the 41st minute for the Reggae Boys, Willem Perron had not yet had to make a stop. The goal was the first shot of the day for Jamaica. But at this end of the field, Taewon Lynch has only had 2 easy saves to make. That might change here. Deflected wide for a corner. Now it's Guadeloupe who has the chance to steal one off a set piece in the closing moments of the half. 3 minutes were added. 2.5 minutes have been played. This should be the last play of the half. Windy day here in Guatemala City. Sun is out, temperature in the 70s, wind whipping 10 to 12 miles an hour. As you can see by that corner flag working overtime to just stay upright. Corner curled in, easy grab for Taewon Lynch as he rose above the rest. Sergio Rosenhout did just call out the trainers. Thought he might blow for the half, and he may yet. After Lynch rose through to corral that one, collided with a teammate. And that is all for half number one. A mostly lifeless first half between Jamaica and Guadeloupe without much going on in either direction until Ronaldo Barrett woke things up in the 41st minute. A blast from 35 yards out. Just drifts beyond the reach of a diving Willem Perron. Sneaks inside the post. Put that up for a goal of the tournament. Make it 1-0 Jamaica as we head into the break here in Group G, match day 2 of the 2023 Concacaf Men's Under-17 Championship.
Shot too much, man.
Players making their way back out onto the field for the second 45 minutes between Guadeloupe and Jamaica, with the Reggae Boys stake to a 1-0 lead, courtesy of Ronaldo Barrett on a blast from 35 yards out to beat Willem Perron, who had an otherwise clean half in goal for Guadeloupe. Joe Malva here with you for this action in Group G, match day 2 of Group G play here in the 2023 Concacaf Men's Under-17 Championship. And one change to get you right out of the gates here to begin this second half. It's Ashton Gordon in, Dunstan Cohen out. We saw Cohen down injured in the first half. Perhaps the substitution related to that. Ashton Gordon came off the bench in game number 1 as well, and he scored off the bench in that one. Gordon's goal turned out to be the game-winning goal. Remember, it was a 4-0 lead for Jamaica over Cuba. He scored the goal to make it 3-0, and then Cuba roared back with 2 goals very, very late in that game. So in 28 minutes of play, Gordon had the game winner in the opener. Back out on the field now for the Reggae Boys. Sergio Rosenhal ready to send us on our way in half number 2. And away we go. A chance for Jamaica to punch that ticket through to the round of 16. A win would do just that. A draw plus a Cuba loss later tonight would also do it, but they'd rather do it with a win and keep themselves in contention for first place in the group. Jamaica will take on Costa Rica in the last day of group play 2 days from now. The winner of Group G will take on Puerto Rico in the round of 16. There's just a reminder of what the benefit is to winning the group as opposed to coming in second place. There are those 4 teams that were pre-slotted into the round of 16 after coming through an earlier round of qualifying. Those are the 4 lowest ranked teams in the tournament. So on paper, at least, you have a distinct advantage going up against one of those 4 teams by winning your group in the group stage. Guadeloupe knows what it's like to be one of those 4 teams directly input to the round of 16. That's where they were in 2019 after they dominated their qualifying Group C. That's one of the lower ranked teams into the tournament. 15 goals scored, 1 goal allowed, 4-0-0 back in 2019 in a group with Bonaire, Aruba, Bahamas, and St. Martin. But they fell to the United States 8-0 in the round of 16, did Guadeloupe 4 years ago. And this is the last iteration of this tournament, or any youth tournament here in CONCACAF U17 or U20, where we will have this particular format with those 4 teams pre-slotted into the round of 16. Concerted effort from the Federation to get more highly competitive games for those teams, the likes of Nicaragua, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, and Bermuda, instead of being directly put forth into the round of 16, would go into a differently formatted group stage here in the future of this tournament. And expect to see this tournament a lot more often as FIFA pivots to an annual U17 World Cup in order to get more and more competitive matches for the youth of the nations around the world. First half could be characterized as choppy between Guadeloupe and Jamaica. It was a lot of direct play over the top. Some found the target, some didn't. No real rhythm to the game. There were a few pockets of play where either team possessed and started to build up, found a rhythm, but not often enough. Not a bad ball from the end line by Woman Pekka 2, and it leads to a corner for Guadeloupe.
What the shot, Ghana? What the shot, Ghana? Number 4 comes mine. But he come back home.
Corner swung in, fumbled by the keeper. Taiwan Lynch for the second time, coming off his line and not securely gathering the ball. Neither time, Jamaica made to pay for it. Now on the break the other way. Into Watson. Oren Watson drops it back. On the turn, the strike is well wide from Jordan Mangatal. That's Samuel Solitude down for Guadeloupe. Here's hoping it's just a cramp as the trainer works on his calf. 17-year-old plays domestically with AS Gossier in Guadeloupe. AS Gossier, CS Moulin are two teams that make up a good majority of this Guadeloupe lineup. Two teams that the more ardent fans of Concacaf will recognize from other competitions in the region. Caribbean Club Shield, Concacaf League, we've seen those two teams enter from Guadeloupe. A lot of the talent concentrated onto those two teams. Surfa FC is the biggest contributor to this Guadeloupe starting 11. 6 of the starters overall from Surfa FC, and we will see a change here. Solitude out, and it's Logi Luce who enters the fray. Luce did not appear in the first game, so this is his tournament debut for Guadeloupe. And that's going to be a second yellow. Initially didn't seem to be much there, but enough for a second yellow against Nashan Bolt. He doesn't agree, neither do his teammates. The assistant referee having a conversation with the official about it. And just judging by the body language, it almost looks like Jaden Rouse, the assistant referee, was advocating for Nashan Bolt. And then the center referee, Sergio Rosenhout, gave that little signal to indicate that he saw a pull from his location. Have a closer look at it. That can be characterized as harsh, to say the least. Nashan Bolt sees a second yellow for almost identical plays where both times he was shielding the ball, and at the very end his hand maybe glanced the face of the opponent. The assistant referee came in almost advocating on behalf of Nashan Bolt. But Sergio Rosenhout, the center referee, had none of it, showed the second yellow, and now it's Jamaica down to 10, but up 1-0. How will that change the complexion of this one? wrong or indifferent, you'll typically see referees have a longer leash when a player is already on a yellow. And that foul from Nashawn Bolt, even if he didn't have a yellow, would have probably been a harsh first yellow, let alone second yellow. Jamaica will have to feel hard done by that, but they'll have to find a way to hold on to this 1-0 lead. And the ensuing free kick, it's headed away by the center back. Here Dixon, and offside flag is up. Yanis Bienville, after taking the free kick, was offside. Stayed back there on the goal line, came back for the ball. Haiti found the opening goal against Suriname in the match going on right now in Group H. So it's 1-0 there as well. Costa Rica, Cuba will follow on this field here. And later tonight, El Salvador, Honduras will finish the day in Group H. Each of those nations won their first matchup. Oren Watson offside here. So for all intents and purposes, El Salvador and Honduras playing perhaps to win the group. A draw would make things interesting. It'll come down to goal differential on the final day of group play. But if either El Salvador or Honduras pick up the win today, you'd imagine they would go on to win the group. Haiti just made it 2-0 over Suriname. That game opening up a bit. We'll see if this one does here, now that Jamaica's down to 10 men. You never want to go down to 10 men, but I don't know that Jamaica will be too negatively impacted with the way this game is set up. If you're playing against a team who likes to possess, swinging it back and forth, down to 10 men, you will tire more easily, and there will be more space out there for the opposition to play through. But against a team like Guadeloupe that has been content to do just that, look long, not all that much should change for Jamaica, despite being down to 10 men. On the flip side of that, if you're a team who likes to build up from the back, being down to 10 men, of course, takes an option out of the equation. It's going to be more difficult to pass through your opponent. But Jamaica themselves are going direct over the top. You never want to go down to 10 men, but if there's ever a time where it'll have very little impact on the game, you think it's a setup like this where both teams like to play very direct. Played out wide for Julian Forlock. Plays it centrally, swing and a miss on the initial try, now over the bar. It found its way through for Denis Cordonal. Seemed to be pleading his case for a handball. First attempt was just missed by Logilus, the substitute. I don't believe there was any contact made there, just a scuffed shot by Cordonal. Jamani Bell, a quick throw, finds Oren Watson. Watson, unlucky bounce off his shin, and it's out for a goal kick. Approaching the hour mark, the goal still holding up from minute 41 by Ronaldo Barrett. But now Jamaica down to 10 men. Nashawn Bolton shown a second yellow in the 52nd minute. Aside from the impact that has on this game, now that means Jamaica will be down a starter against Costa Rica. Sean Bolton went 81 minutes in the opener, started again today. So in what could be a decisive third match of the group in terms of who wins the group and has that easier on paper opponent in the round of 16. They could be without, or rather will be without, one of their key starters in Nashawn Bolton. Make the point that it's an easier match on paper in terms of your round of 16 match against one of those four pre-slotted teams in Bermuda, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, or Nicaragua, because remember, everything is based off the 2019 rankings. That's 4 years ago. because we haven't had this tournament in so long. So all the players taking part in this tournament were 11, 12, and 13 years old. Great ball off the free kick, sneaking in behind Jamani Bell. A nearly 70-yard free kick, almost caught Guadeloupe off guard. But it's tough to go by those rankings and just assume that Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Bermuda, or Nicaragua will be easy opponents in the round of 16 for the 4 group winners. Actually, in the U20 tournament last year, we saw Dominican Republic as one of those 4 pre-slotted teams into the round of 16, and they made it all the way through to the final. They earned World Cup and Olympic qualification in the process. So do not take those 4 teams lightly. Some concern here now as we had a clash of the heads. Past the hour mark now, both benches stirring, not only because of the potential injuries here, but you're getting into the stage of the game where we could see both coaches look to the bench for some impactful players to step up. Jamaica with a 1-0 lead, but down to 10 men. We will see a change here on the Jamaican side. Orion Watson will give way for Adrian Mahoney. It'll be Mahoney's first appearance of the tournament. Product of the Toronto FC Academy in MLS. Jamaica's number 9 just subbed off, and it's his opposing number 9, Denise Cordonal, who was down that whole time with a head injury. Still hunched over off to the side of the field. They've got him all bandaged up. See if he is good to continue. The trainer just gave the thumbs up over to the bench. That's a good sign for Guadeloupe. He has been their most dangerous attacker on the day. Free kick swerved in and cleared by Jamaica, who look to counter here. They have a 4v3 if they hurry. Sent very long into the path of the newly inserted Ashton Gordon. Almost got there.
Ashton. Relax.
Molina into Gordon. It's Molina who switched over now to the left side after dominating the right flank in the first half. Earns a free kick here for the Reggae Boys. These are the moments where you do have to be careful on the back end, down to 10 men. Can't afford to commit too many players into the area now on this free kick and leave yourself vulnerable at the back. Jamani Bell clips it in just over the head of Malachi Molina. Have to imagine he switched over to the left side because of the red card for Nashawn Bolton. The switch happened right after the red card as Molina went from the right wing back to the left wing back. Poke through to Cordonal. Cordonal cutting just past his teammate, William Jacques, who had some space, top of the box. Ilan Maloza tries his luck from about the area that Ronaldo Barrett scored his goal for Jamaica, but not the same result on the Guadeloupe side. It's that goal still from the 41st minute, holding up for Jamaica. In their 15th appearance here in this tournament historically. The furthest they've made it when it's had the knockout format was the semifinal in 2011. They hosted that tournament. They beat Panama in the third place game. I specified that that was their best finish in a knockout format because back in 1999, when it was an 8-team tournament split into 2 groups, there was no knockout stage. It was just the 2 group winners qualified for the U17 World Cup, and then both second place teams played in a playoff to determine CONCACAF's 3rd representative at the Under-17 World Cup. So one of those years, 1999, Jamaica won the group and qualified for the World Cup. But hoping to get back to a semifinal in a knockout format for the first time since 2011. Doing so will earn them qualification into this year's U17 World Cup. There will be 4 CONCACAF representatives. That'll be the 4 teams who win the quarterfinal round. 20 minutes gone here, and half number 2. Split through ball for William Jacques. Cutting on his right foot, lofting it forward. Lungy loose, headed back where it came from. That's not what he intended. That speed of Ashton Gordon giving the Guadeloupe back line something to think about ever since he came on at the half. Guadeloupe has yet to make any sort of advantage come to fruition, being up a man as they have been now for 15 minutes. If you're somebody who would just tune in, I don't think you'd realize to the naked eye that they are playing up a man, Guadeloupe. Haven't really had the possession, haven't generated the chances. Coming back the other way, Malachi Molina, the FC Dallas Academy product in MLS. Popped over the top for Mangatal. It drifts away and out for a Guadeloupe throw. Loman Pekatu back for Gillian Forlock Evan Laureate for Killian Maravan. Ilan Maloza. Jillian Forlock. Forlock caught a divot as he looked long. And Jamaica clears it back down. Still 2-0 in the other match going on at the moment. Haiti over Suriname in Group H. Already have 4 teams from the group stage who have punched their ticket through to the round of 16. Mexico, Panama, the United States, and Canada. A couple other teams could join them today. Jamaica, one of them, with a win, they would do so. Honduras and El Salvador later tonight. If either wins their game, they would punch a ticket through. And that other game going on at the moment, Haiti would make things very interesting in Group H with a win, should Honduras and El Salvador tie later tonight. William Jacques battling his way through, lost it at the last moment to Mangatal. Harassed by Cordonal, but it's still Mangatal for Jamaica down the right wing. Nobody making that run forward. 70 minutes gone, 20 to go here in Guatemala City, Guatemala, at Estadio Nacional Doroteo Guamuch Flores on match day 2 of Group G in the 2023 Concacaf Men's Under-17 Championship. I'm Joe Malva, happy to be with you today for the action here in Guatemala City. This game will be followed by Costa Rica and Cuba, approximately an hour at the end of this one between the two games. Offside flag is up on Guadeloupe. The same can't be said for Guadeloupe, who are not eligible for World Cup or FIFA competition. But for Jamaica, these tournaments are of paramount importance now going forward. They have the top-end talent at the senior level already, given all the English internationals that made the switch to Jamaica. And they have a good crop of players in the U20 range as well. But this U17 group will be around 19, 20 years old, could be on the cusp of contributing to the senior team when 2026's World Cup rolls around. And the news came out today, which everybody imagined would be the case, but it was confirmed today that the United States, Mexico, and Canada are automatically qualified as the joint hosts of the 2026 World Cup, which opens the door for the rest of CONCACAF to qualify with what should be 3 remaining bids for the region. If that applied to this most recent World Cup, Jamaica would have just made the cut. Dangerous play, edge of the box there. Guadeloupe had a shout for a penalty. But Jamaica would have just made the cut this past time. They finished in 6th place of the octagonal round of qualifying. So these tournaments are important as you look down the line. Can they supply the talent in the pipeline to go with some of the senior talent they already have? Great ball played through, but the clearance made on the cross by Loric Gustave. And even beyond the 2026 World Cup, now that the tournament is going to a 48-team format, there will just be more open spots for CONCACAF teams. You've got the U.S., Canada, and Mexico as an apparent top 3 nations, and it could be that way for some time with the talent those nations have already at the senior level and looking down to the lower ranks. Can Jamaica step into that void in that next cut of teams? Costa Rica, you'd imagine, maybe starts to fade away for a little bit as they were already aging and somehow still found a way through to the most recent World Cup. There was the shout Guadeloupe had for a penalty. That could have gone either way. Adrian Reed and Denise Cardinal exchanging some pleasantries at the top of the box as Guadeloupe waits to take this free kick. Right at the edge of shooting range. It's Willian Jacques, the captain, has a right-footed option. Yanis Bienville has a left-footed option. But first, Sergio Rosenhout comes in to settle things down in the box. It's Bienville going for goal. Body was leaned back the whole time. Sliced through it. Quarter of an hour remains. 2 changes coming for Jamaica. Up a goal, down a man. Looking to see this one over the finish line. Jason White, Nicholas Simmons coming in. Jamani Bell will give way. And Jordan Mangatal will exit for Jason White.
Damas y caballeros, su atención por favor. Sustitución para el equipo de Jamaica en el minuto 75. Sale el número 10 y entra el número 16, Nicholas Simon.
Nicholas Simmons on the ball there. That's his first touch of the tournament. Did not play in the opener against Cuba. Jason White did come in off the bench. So his second appearance here as a substitute in this tournament. Ronaldo Barrett slices it long out toward Adrian Mahoney. The Toronto FC Academy product plays back. First touches on the ball here for Jason White. Back for Barrett. He scored in the 41st minute. That's the goal still holding up for Jamaica. LaShawn Bolt picked up a second yellow in the 52nd minute. They've been playing 25 minutes now down to man Jamaica, but haven't really shown any ill effects of doing so. Back when it happened, I mentioned that if there were ever a game where it might be insignificant, it would be this one, where you have two teams who like to play direct and neither really build up. Going down to 10 men, certainly a hindrance when you're trying to defend a team that's passing left and right and left and right. Chance here for Jacques barreling in, he scores! Willian Jacques, a moment of individual brilliance to tie it in the 77th minute. Not much was going on for Guadeloupe. They weren't finding the passing lanes. So the captain takes it upon himself. Beats his man, Malik Robinson, with the left foot to the far post. Taiwan Lynch got a piece of it right there. Twelve minutes to go, plus whatever stoppage time has in store, and it's 1-1.
Para el equipo de Guadalupe. Sale con el número 14, Chilean Portland, que entra con el número 18, Mati Fernández. Sale con el número 3, Gianni Bienville, que entra con el número 17.
Up until that point, being down to 10 men hadn't really been an issue for Jamaica, with both teams playing as direct as they were. They weren't caught chasing with a numbers disadvantage. They weren't caught attacking with a numbers disadvantage. Everything has just been long ball after long ball over the top. But in that one moment, Willian Jacques changed everything. Jacques came close in the first game for Guadeloupe.
En el minuto 77.
Slipped through to Mahoney here. Mahoney drops it back. Save made by Perron. He caught the very back of that ball. It almost slipped through his hands. But in that first game for Guadeloupe, the loss 2-1 against Costa Rica, William Jacques had come close. Tied for the team lead with 3 registered shots. He's been active again here today, whether that's been in a creative role underneath or going forward with shots of his own. Here's Luigi Luce, one of the second half substitutes for Guadeloupe. Gustave out wide for Pekatu. Gustave looking long over the top and over the head of Cordonal. Here's Cordonal, drops it back for Luce. He couldn't get a touch on it. Otherwise, he had a path into goal. Guadeloupe snuck a couple of subs in after the goal was scored. Here's one of them, Mathis Fernandez. And here's the other, Edson Cantin. Back toward Cantin, well read by the center back, Robinson. He was fouled on his way through. Pardon me, that was Adrian Reed, the other center back, who came through with it. Haiti just made it 3-0 over Suriname with about 10 minutes to go, all but sealing their victory. And now a free kick on the way for Jamaica. Can they get that goal back? Ronaldo Barrett's goal in the 41st minute held strong for 37 minutes before William Jacques in the 78th made it 1-1 for Guadeloupe. Jamaica still playing down a man. Deshaun Bolt, the red card, rather the second yellow, picked up back in the 52nd minute. Adrian Reed stands over the free kick. Almost looks poised to shoot this. We'll see if he is that ambitious. Reed does go for goal. I'll put it over the bar. You always tell when a player might be having an eye for goal. Staring directly at the keeper. Take a big, deep breath in before he went for that one. Guadeloupe never really had any momentum advantage after that goal was scored. The game settled right back into the rhythm it was in. A bit different than the first half. After Jamaica scored that goal in the 41st minute, there was about a 5-minute stretch where both teams just end-to-end opened up a little bit. Not the case this time around. This game settled right back into the same doldrums it was in. Up toward Luce, cleared. I hear Dixon. Dangerous moment there as Dixon missed. Fortunate Taewon Lynch was there, and fortunate he didn't make contact with it. Those are plays you'll see from time to time. The defender has a big swing at it on a bouncing ball, and you're picking it up out of your own net on an awkward bounce. 6 to play of the 90. Jamaica surging forward through Barrett. Now Gordon. Ashton Gordon scored the game-winning goal against Cuba the last time out for Jamaica. Malachi Molina turns the corner. Molina. Mahoney. He's taken down. Gordon taken down. And the referee says play on each time. Contact, to be sure. Don't know if it was a foul. Chested down by the substitute White. Back for Barrett. Claim of handball from Jamaica. Good step to win it back from White. Flipped ahead toward Gordon. Scored it through the two defenders, but into the waiting arms of Willem Perron. All of a sudden, it's Jamaica with the better play going forward, despite being down a man. They sense there still may be 3 points in the cards on this evening in Guatemala City. Guadeloupe has other ideas. Guadeloupe could set themselves up nicely going into the third match day if they can steal these 3 points for a victory of their own. They are matched up with Cuba on the final day of play here in Group G. And assuming things go to plan, with Costa Rica taking all 3 points against Cuba in the next match, a win for Guadeloupe would mean all they need is to secure a tie on the final day against Cuba. And even a loss might be enough directly to Cuba, depending on how the goal differential shakes out. Guadeloupe has a slight advantage there already, having lost their opener by just 1 goal, whereas Cuba lost by 2. So a lot riding on these last few minutes here. Jamaica can punch a ticket into the next round with a victory. Guadeloupe could set themselves up nicely, where they would be a team with the inside track over Cuba on the final match day. A tie would be an interesting result for both. Coronel can let it fly, and that he does. Jamaica could still advance at the end of today with a draw. They can move up to 4 points. A Costa Rican win over Cuba would mean Cuba is still on 0 with 1 match day to play, and the top 3 teams from each group advancing. You do the math, and Jamaica would already be qualified for the round of 16. Wouldn't be the result they were hoping for if this turns out to be 1 point instead of 3. Here's Gordon, has Mahoney centrally, takes a shot himself from a tough angle. Gordon out, game opening up a bit here in the final moments. Back for the hero so far, Willem Jacques. Ilan Maloza. Tayshawn Lynch had instructions from the bench to play that ball. He decided to take his time, and there was a verbal spat back and forth. Here's Gustave. Gustav looks wide, finds Cantin. Edson Cantin drops it back, some space to work with here. All the way through. What a moment for Guadeloupe. Ilan Maloza, nobody stepped to him. The sea parted, and Guadeloupe could steal all three. Watch where he picks this ball up, Ilan Maloza, and watch where it ends up. He gets it here. There are 6 Jamaican players behind the ball. Nobody steps to him. Ashton Gordon gave him a free pass. An easy finish in the end. Just nobody steps to him. Miscommunication right there. Jamaica went up 1-0 in the 41st minute. They went down a man in the 52nd. In the 78th, Willem Jacques, who's now subbed off, made it 1-1. And here in the 89th minute, Guadeloupe takes a 2-1 lead, now 6 minutes tacked on. And this could set up a very interesting third and final match day here in Group G. Going into the next match between Cuba and Costa Rica, you would have Guadeloupe, Jamaica, and Costa Rica all on 3 points. If Cuba can pull off a similar upset to what Guadeloupe might have on hand here, you could, in theory, have all 4 teams on 3 points going into Thursday's group play conclusion. This one's still far from over with 5 minutes to play. But it's now Jamaica having to rescue a point where for so long it looked like they'd be coasting to 3. Becca 2 was lifted in favor of Kilian Corlan. Final sub made here for Guadeloupe as Kurt Germain came in for Willem Jacques. Poor giveaway. Chance for Jamaica to counter. It's Gordon. Had the winning goal against Cuba. Jason White looking for Simmons. Now the other way, Guadeloupe a chance. 4 minutes to play of the 6 that were given. Adrian Reed, the outlet to Ronaldo Barrett. Somebody has to step to him. He scored from 35 out in the first half. Opts for the pass this time. Molina into Simmons. And goal kick is the ruling. Foul in the attacking half, not going to help the cause for Jamaica. Gives Guadeloupe a chance to take some more time off this clock. 2.5 minutes to play in stoppage time of the 6 that were awarded. Ronaldo Barrett made it 1-0 in the 41st minute. 52nd minute, Jamaica went down a man. Willem Jacques tied it for Guadeloupe in the 78th. in the 90th minute officially. Ilan Maloza put Guadeloupe up 2-1. Swerved in towards Simmons. Barrett steps to it. Coronel comes away with it. Here's Reed. Still Reed. Looking to draw the foul. Doesn't get the call. It's a Guadeloupe throw. Reed rolling around on the grass, claiming he got kicked in the back of the head. I believe it will still be a Guadeloupe throw once the dust settles here. Call was changed. Jamaican throw instead. Molina looking long. Throws it into the 18. And we've got a whistle for a foul against Jamaica. Guadeloupe signaling for a substitution to be made. They have used their windows. 4 subs made, but 3 windows used. Just the center back Killian Morovan back to his feet. He goes right back down, couldn't make it off the field. So unclear exactly how much time we will have remaining when they do resume. Morovan went down with about 94:30 on the clock. He's been down for about a minute. The 6 minutes that were given will have been totally used up by the time we do restart now. But the question is, will Sergio Rosenhout allow another 90 seconds for the time lost within stoppage time? Not obliged to do so. Guadeloupe hoping for that whistle to come at any second. Is there one last try in this for Jamaica? Committing all the yellow jerseys now in the attacking half. Ball sent forward to Simmons, cleared. Molina keeps it alive for Jamaica, but with a foul. Glance at the watch from Sergio Rosenhout. The referee from Suriname with whistle in mouth. We have a final in Guatemala City. Guadeloupe emerge victorious. It is their first ever win in group play at a Concacaf Men's Under-17 Championship. It looked bleak for a while. Ronaldo Barrett put Jamaica up in the 41st minute, but they went down a man in the 52nd, and then goals in the 78th and 90th minutes respectively from Willen Jacques and Ilan Maloza, the hero, to give Guadeloupe the 2-1 win here on match day 2 of Group G in the 2023 Concacaf Men's Under-17 Championship.
Ronaldo Barrett, a hard game for Jamaica today. You scored, but it's not enough for today.
Yeah, true, I scored, but we didn't get the result that we were expecting.
What's next for Jamaica? Because after you lost today, you have an opportunity to win the last game and pass to the round.
Yeah,